yesterday signed a €45 million loan from the European Investment Bank expected to finance the much-awaited Central Sewage project.
This is a €45 million loan for a central sewage project, which is the first one in Rwanda. And what is attractive for us in this project is the environmental impact that the project will have, the effect on health because of the reduction of waterborne diseases, and also the effect in the reduction of gas emissions of the project. It is not tied to any other activities of the government. What it is tied to the implementation of this specific project. It is about creating benefits for the local population of the city of Kigali. So this one is a loan to the government of €45 million. This morning we signed two loans. One was with the Development Bank of Rwanda and the other one was with I&M Rwanda. And the total of those loans is €24 million. Those are directly to those banks, and the destinataries of those loans, the beneficiaries, are small and medium-sized enterprises in the private sector. So what this shows is that the European Investment Bank, which is the Bank of the European Union, is willing to provide finance for the public sector, but also for the private sector, always for the benefit of the local population. The impact of the loans of this morning is job creation. That's clearly the purpose of those loans. They were the second loan for each one of those two institutions, and for the previous loans we had monitored the jobs sustained by the projects and the finance of EIB, and we have calculated that 3,000 people maintained their jobs thanks to the loans of the European Investment Bank. And this therefore means 3,000 families that have an income that is it's sustainable over time thanks to these loans. So it's using the private sector to create economic growth that is sustainable, that is inclusive, and that creates jobs.
The Minister of Finance, Claver Gatete, on behalf of the government of Rwanda, noted that the government had to prioritize this project to cater for the growing population.
This is the money that we borrow, and also we borrow according to our capacity to pay back the money. And we've been investing heavily into almost every area of infrastructure, in energy, in roads. I'm sure the roads, you've seen so many of them signing here. Also in water, rural and urban, and also in other areas including agriculture. So in addition to our own domestic resources, we also borrow from outside, but also borrow internally here on the domestic market. So usually you cannot invest in everything at the same time. You always have to prioritize, but now that's why we have prioritized this time this treatment plant, because we realize the population is growing. And where there is a trade-off between education, health, development in different areas, definitely we couldn't have started. I mean, this is the time we said it's high time that we also invest in this area. But also getting someone to partner with us is also not easy. But we have at least finally managed to get partners who are going to help us in terms of investing. The cost of the money here is around 2%, grace period of 5 years, but also for 25 years. So it's really not very expensive one compared to the impact this project is going to have.
We've been working together with the Rwandan government for this project in particular since 2013. So there has been years of dialogue, of project preparation, of seeing how the development and the design was evolving, and this also supporting with technical assistance. So what there is a continuous dialogue that I hope we will be able to have a few minutes afterwards with the minister, and we will be talking about future projects. Because what I can confirm, and also answering to some of the other questions that have been posed, is we have a positive outlook on Rwanda, on the capacity of Rwanda, on its very responsible indebtedness, and we will be happy to finance more public sector projects in addition to more private sector projects. So we will be happy to finance both, and it's a continuous dialogue with the European Union and with the European Union Bank.
Asked about the central sewage system that has taken quite a long time to be put in place, the CEO of Water and Sanitation Corporation, Ememuzora, said it was just a matter of time as they were doing feasibility studies and negotiating the funds.
It didn't take long. we were just, negotiating, mobilizing funds. So we first did studies, feasibility study, economic feasibility study, environmental impact assessment, so that we have a package to make our application for fund mobilization. So for us, it didn't take long because we always wanted to find a cheap funds, and we thank a European Investment Bank to have expressed interest to finance this big and first project of that kind for the government of Rwanda.
What are you specifically focusing on for this phase one? Because you did mention in the press conference that there will be a phase one, there will be a phase two. So what exactly are you specifically looking at for phase one?
This phase one, we call it pilot project. We are focusing downtown, where we are standing here. We have also the site of Muhima and Kiyovu. That's the three sites we are going to start with for the pilot project, this phase one. But as the population increases and we mobilize more funds, we will connect Kachiru, Chimihurura, and Gikondo. But we have designed the wastewater treatment plant in the modular way, so that as we increase in population in Kigali, we can also expand our plant to treat more wastewater. We are also doing some studies, detailed design in other part of the city of Kigali. So after the study and the detailed economic feasibility study, we will have to know the exact amount to be mobilized to make extension and have other localized sewer systems in the other part of the city.
And when should we expect that to happen?
We have already started those studies, and like Kiwagabaga and Kinyinya, we have started the studies. So we also at the same time mobilizing funds to construct. So according to our catchment areas in the city of Kigali, we are planning localized systems so that we avoid as much as we can the pumping or energy consumption plants. We have already the Kigali master plan. So as we are planning those localized systems, we go together with the expansion of our settlement. So we are in our design, we also consider the expansion of the city of Kigali. We consider the current situation, status, then we also factor in the future development according to already approved master plan.
Allow me to ask you one last question, and this has to do with the loan. You did receive 45 million euros, and you said AFDB, the Africa Development Bank, is also co-financing. How much does this have to reflect, or maybe say, the water bills if we have a 5 to 25 year grace period and a 2.5 interest rate?
Well, we are going to conduct a study, a tariff study, which will provide details of what we should be, for the end user consumption, tariff. So probably the more details will be provided after the study is completed, the tariff study, as we are preparing terms of reference to bring on board experts to do this study for the tariff. But in any case, as we pay money for, we have a tariff for clean water, we will have as well the tariff for wastewater, handling. Otherwise, this is a huge investment, and we should be able to have a kind of return on this investment. The beauty of this, we have more 25 years to cover the money, but the WASAC and the government in general, we are ready to implement, operate, and have this loan paid back.